Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for joining me. Well, whilst we're all probably in isolation in our homes, there's no reason why we can't dream about our next vacation because I don't know about you, but I am very much looking forward to my next trip overseas. I think I've certainly realised that life is too short. My name is Narelle, and I'll be taking you through Canada today on Via Rail Vacations. Now, before we get started, write that little number down that's on the bottom of the right-hand screen, 1300 938 534. You might need it today, tomorrow, next month, next year. But when you do need it, we will be ready to take your call and help you piece together the most amazing itinerary of Canada. If you'd also like to download some of your handouts, you're more than welcome to in that little drop box there. You are also welcome to ask me questions at any time, and I'll do my very best to get to those at the end of the presentation. So a little bit about what we have available for you. So everyone is always encouraging people to go onto websites. We still have the beautiful old-fashioned brochures because I don't know about you, I like to have a brochure in my hand when I'm planning a holiday. We have three distinct brochures. One is called Railbookers, and that looks after pretty much the world. So Europe, Canada, America, Asia, Australia, and South Africa. That is our main brochure. That's our Railbookers brochure. The middle one is our Via Rail Vacations brochure. And so that is just solely dedicated to Canada because Canada is such a is such a destination that a lot of Australians want to get to and they would like to travel by train. And then we also have Amtrak Vacations. So that is our USA product. We are Amtrak Vacations. We are we are the vacation provider for these government networks here of the trains of Amtrak. And so we can actually piece together the Amtrak Vacations as well. And funnily enough, some of the Amtrak trains do cross into Canada, and then Canada, some of the Via Rails also cross into America just because of that border there. Each brand has got so many things to offer, so every single rail experience that you go on will be different. We can also send you those brochures for free, so all you need to do is call 1300 938 534 and we can get those brochures in the post to you. So feel free to give the team a call. They're ready to take your call now or after this webinar. So why do Travellers Love Railbookers? So a lot of you have learned about this webinar because you're already on our database. So maybe we've got a great turnout today, by the way, and thank you for your time. So maybe you've already booked with us, or maybe you've just been piecing together an itinerary or waiting for that time to book. So here's some reasons why we do have a lot of repeat clients and also people come to us for the first time. The best thing is we are AUD. So whilst we are an international company and we deal with all these different rail networks that charge us in euro and USD and Canadian dollars, we work locally in Australia in Australian dollars. You can also book us 24 months in advance, which is a huge amount of time in order to get your plans sorted. The beautiful thing about booking 24 months in advance with us is we can offer so many more different accommodation types, but the closer you get to your travel date, the more availability might be a little bit more restricted. So it's always good to plan a little bit in advance. We do have a very flexible booking policy, and I'll have a look at that with you all very soon. And that is because of the current climate, we are now fully flexible in people needing to change dates, future credit vouchers, and anything else that might please our fantastic customer base. When you do call us, it is only an average hold time of 3 seconds. So make sure you got everything ready or that you're ready for that call to be picked up because you're not calling through to someone who's you're going to be listening through to a voicemail or anything for an hour. It is a very quick answer time and the team are always ready to take calls. We can deal with bucket list experiences. Now, there's always going to be bucket list experiences, and I think that once we're all out of isolation here, there's going to be even more bucket list experiences. So if the train goes there, so do we. Now, we've also got the freedom and flexibility in order to put together your trip. You do not need to follow a set itinerary or follow groups around or be told what time to have dinner and what time to have breakfast. The freedom and flexibility of fully independent travel calling us means that we can find out from you what kind of accommodations would you like to stay in, 3-star up to 5-star. Would you like to have more adventurous experiences? Are you more of a hiker? And things like that. We can actually put together the itinerary that is catered to what you would like in your travels. It is also the most scenic way to travel. There's no traffic on the roads this way. I don't know about you, but the clouds look the same no matter where I am in the world. So being able to go from city to city or just see this fantastic scenery that all these destinations have to offer, that's why rail travel has been around for a very long time, and it's going to be around for much longer after this also. It's the golden era of travel. Now, we also do have a lot of room to roam. The seats, we've got a lot more legroom in the seats on trains, and we've also got a lot more freedom and flexibility. You're not restricted to your seats, so you can get up and walk around the carriages. We do fully customizable itineraries. You tell us how long you're going there for, and we'll be able to piece that itinerary for you. One of the best things about Railbookers is you do have 24-hour support from our global office. So even though you're booking in Australia and in AUD, our London office may be able to help you if it's after hours. Our Laguna office in California, which definitely caters for anyone who's traveling through the Rockies at that time that the Laguna office is open. So when you're looking at all of our offices here, we have Sydney, Australia, which is the office I run. We've also got London, UK, Beverly in Massachusetts, which is just near Boston, and Laguna Hills in California. And our newest office is Toronto, Canada, which is very appropriate seeing we are looking at a Via Rail Vacations product. I mentioned our flexible booking policy. So all new reservations, we can change your travel dates or cancel rail up to 5 days prior to departure, and there will not be any change or cancellation fees. So this is if you were to book by 30th of April, and then we can just keep moving that for once we can travel again. We know that it's hard to make these plans now because we need to wait for those planes to fly again. But the second those airline deals come out after all of this, everyone will be booking. And so it's good to start to pre-plan some of your travels now and at least just get a quote so you can put it on your fridge and start to dream about your next holiday. Now, we are talking Canada today, but just a little bit more on Railbookers is we take the mystery out of rail travel. And by that, we mean see all those different lines. And a lot of our clients will travel Europe with us first before then going on to Canada, for example. All those different coloured lines are all the high-speed trains that the governments in Europe own. Not one of those systems talk to each other. It's like trying to piece together air with all different airlines. It just doesn't work. You've got to go onto each different site and pair it all up. Well, us at Railbookers, we are able to pull all of those through our system and we can actually match everything up. So we just take the headache out of it for everyone. You tell us if you want to sleep in, if you'd like to get up early on that first train departure, then we can actually pull all of that through our systems. And the reason being, we've got direct retail partnerships with all of the government network trains throughout the world. So what do we offer? Well, I think it all says it here. From the hotels, we offer anywhere from 3 to 5-star hotels, overnight rail journeys, and that's something that we're going to touch on with the Via Rail Vacations product because we can offer overnight rail journeys on that fabulous product. Day excursions, we can book that. We can do the skip the queues, sightseeing, we can do the ferries, and also confirmed seat reservations, which I know is very important to a lot of our travellers. I also like to face forward opposed to facing backwards. So you can always let our consultants know that too. And speaking of our consultants, why do we know so much? We know because we go. Every year we experience a new rail journey and then we come together as a team and we compare notes so we can all learn from each other. We look at everything from how easy it is to get to hotels, how easy it is to navigate through the different rail stations, how far in advance you may need to check in on some of them. Sometimes it's 45 minutes you check in, what the luggage storage is like, what the food a la carte menus on board are like, and all of our excursions in between. So we know because we go. Now, let's look at Canada. I love Canada. In fact, I love it so much, I actually lived there through 6 winters, I believe it was, over in Toronto. So I won't bore you too much with my snow shoveling stories and the first time I saw icicles, but there's just something about Canada and something about seeing Canada by train. There, you don't need to worry about airport security. Getting out to airports is expensive. Going through the security process, this is city to city. And we know that our dear friends at Rocky Mountaineer really have showcased what Canada can be like on the train, and we thank them for that. We work very closely with Rocky Mountaineer because Rocky Mountaineer can also piece up with Via Rail. So here's the different train lines throughout Canada. It's definitely not anywhere near as much as Europe, of course, but Canada was built as the rail system to get from the East Coast through to the West Coast. And all those Fairmont hotels, which I'm sure you've seen, at Fairmont Banff Springs, Lake Louise, Fairmont in Vancouver, Quebec City, they were all Fairmonts built on this train line. So the history is just absolutely fantastic as well. So let's have a look at some of these different train itineraries that we can do. Now, the beautiful Western Canada rail journey, it is a nice 8-day itinerary. And, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I do apologise for that. It is a beautiful 8-day itinerary, and it starts in Vancouver and goes out to Winnipeg. The reason why our clients love this is because you get to spend 2 nights on a V-Rail. So you get that overnight experience, and you also get that beautiful sightseeing of the trips of touching in on some of those Rocky Mountains and then going out to Winnipeg. And if it's in the winter, it's called Winterpeg. And actually, speaking of which, it's not so seasonal as well because Via Rail runs all through the year, unlike the Rocky Mountaineer, which may be more seasonal as well. So it also depends on when you're looking at going. Here is just some of the beautiful rail experiences that you will see from Jasper to Vancouver, and see that beautiful glass dome for all your sightseeing and rail travel. So by far, well, you're looking up at the clouds opposed to looking down if you were to fly. Sorry, I've just got a problem with my mouse here. And then we've got the beautiful sightseeing tour of Jasper and also of Vancouver, 2 absolutely amazing places. And Via Rail takes us from the heart of Vancouver out to these beautiful national parks and out to the beautiful areas like Jasper, Lake Louise. Very popular one is coast to coast. And the reason being, a lot of people may have already been to Canada once and they'd like to visit again. Or it's their first time and maybe their only time. So the coast to coast is a very popular itinerary because not only do you get to experience the Rocky Mountains, you also, like, say, for example, you can start in Vancouver, and we can do everything in reverse as well because the train goes one way, it's still got to get back the other way as well, just like flying. So Vancouver through Rocky Mountains, and then you get to spend 3 nights on board Via Rail. And that is a fabulous experience right there as well, because you really get to see the diversity of Canada. Now, going through this area, there isn't as much going on, which is why the train just passes pretty much straight through. Of course, it will stop at train stations like Winnipeg along the way, but it's no time to get off unless you want to be there for a couple of days. Please excuse me again. And then we get into a beautiful Toronto. Toronto is what I was told to call it when I first moved over there, because I was saying Toronto, and I was very quickly corrected. From Toronto, you can go down to beautiful Niagara Falls, and that is where you can see it from the Canadian side. So Lady of the Mist perhaps is an excursion that a lot of people would like to choose to take. From Toronto, going up into beautiful Montreal, the beautiful history there in Quebec City, and also, the gorgeous Maritimes. If you like lobster, save that for Halifax. You could go out to Peggy's Cove, beautiful ocean scenes out there. It's just, Halifax is just one of those, it is the Maritimes. It's the heart of the Maritimes. And this is just a fantastic itinerary to experience all of that. So we can customize your rail holiday also. So What we mean by customize is what some of these itineraries that you will see in our brochure. Don't forget to call that number and order your free brochures. We'll send them to you. And also when you're on the website, the itineraries are just suggested itineraries. So if you would like to add on extra days or maybe reduce days, we can do that. We can book trips in reverse. We can add on different itineraries onto each other. We're finding a lot of people are doing Canada and the US. So we can do the Via Rail vacations and Amtrak vacations. So you tell us what it is that you would like to do, how much time you have. Budgets do come into play. So whether you're also looking at maybe a 4, 5-star accommodation, or we can also cater for a 3-star accommodation. There's also different standards of class on the trains as well, and we'll have a look at those. If you're only looking at doing like a shorter period and not doing that 3-night experience on board via rail, then you can fly into Toronto and do just the Toronto journey up through Montreal, Quebec City, and also Halifax. So for as long or as short as you need, we can get you there. So that's beautiful images there of the Fairmont Hotel in Quebec City, and also on the right there, that's Peggy's Cove there outside of Halifax. Remember, save that lobster for that. If you're looking at just the wheat, I have to do my never eat soggy wheat bix from time to time. So if you're looking at just the West Coast, you can do Vancouver over to Calgary. Now this is the same itinerary as the Rocky Mountaineer. So we can offer the exact same itinerary as the Rocky Mountaineer, but what we do is we spend 1 night on board Via Rail. And that area there is you're not missing out on anything in the Rocky Mountains anyway. So if you're still looking for that overnight experience, but not too sure if you want to do the 3 nights, then you can spend that 1 night on that. And really when it comes down to budgets and preference, it's the Rocky Mountaineer, fabulous product, of course. Via Rail is definitely on a bit more friendlier on the wallet. And really what you're doing is you're seeing the same destinations, but the train facilities are slightly different as well. And then here are just a few more photos there. And also I highly recommend a Victoria day trip. You can catch a seaplane or just the ferry out there, and it's absolutely fantastic. That's just outside of Vancouver. And here's the Canadian Rockies on the Rocky Mountaineer. So as you can see here, it's very, very similar itinerary. The difference is instead of stopping off in Kamloops, you spend the night on board Via Rail. Sorry, I've got a couple of problems with my mouse. I do thank you for your patience. So the Rocky Mountaineer, you can see those beautiful glass viewing domes there as well. Via Rail also have those. And also we can also get you on all of those same trains. We can get you on the same excursions. We work very much in partnership with Rocky Mountaineer. A lot of people would do Rocky Mountaineer one way and Via Rail back. So then they do get that overnight experience. So let's have a look at what it's like to be on board Via Rail, because these are some of the most common questions. So on board now, this is the Canadian. The Canadian runs between Vancouver and Toronto. Now, this complete journey will take about 4 days. However, the journey can be broken up, as we have seen with a stop in the Canadian Rockies in Jasper. From there, you can also arrange to visit Banff and also the beautiful, iconic Lake Louise. 2 areas I highly recommend as well. Economy class. Now that doesn't look like economy on an airline, that's for sure. So our economy classes are more legroom and also more interactive as well. You can see that these people can be facing each other. So this is great for anyone who's really looking at the budget side of things. You do get a complimentary access to a dome car as well. So that's just not the only seat that you will be forever seated in. You can access the dome car. Now, food is available for you to purchase, and that's from a takeout stand located in the dome car. Muffins, sandwiches, sodas, beer, wine, and chips and things like that as well. Now, depending on availability, you may also, but only may, be able to access the dining car and purchase hot meals. Oh, I'm just having a real struggle here moving my mouse. Thank you. So next we're going to have a look at some of the berths. Now berths come in upper and lower. So these will be colored. So the berths, let's say, are the most economical entry into the sleeping cars. And they look rather nice and comfortable there as well. So the picture is in the upper right, shows the berth during the daytime. There is privacy, and that's actually, the privacy screen is a heavy curtain that closes the sleeping area and separating the upper and lower berth. We do also have the beautiful cabins for one. Oh, actually, I should also mention the restrooms for the berths. Restrooms are at the end of the sleeping car, and that's just a few steps from the berth accommodation. So there's no restrooms in the actual cabins themselves. Now, or in the berth. In the cabins for one, you can see that they actually have a door that locks, so it's not done by a curtain, and it locks from the inside, and this has a covered toilet. However, I'm going to mention that not many people do use that covered toilet because it is in the room. A lot of people will go and use the shed facilities in the carriages. Now, there is also a love seat by day with a large window, and you can also, absolutely with that, you can enjoy that beautiful passing scenery. It will also include a sink, and it will have running hot and cold drinking water, as well as access to the shower down the hall. The cabin for two has all of those same, however, there's also a bunk shared facilities as well. So they also the entire space will turn into a bed at night. So you got either a cabin for one or a cabin for two. So for those single travelers, we can absolutely accommodate for that. And if you're traveling with a friend or your partner, then we can put you in the same also. Now, prestige class, now this is the ultimate experience. Now, this spacious cabin is about 50% larger than the cabin for one, and it's got a beautiful L-shaped leather couch that you can sit in by day. Now, there is a double bed for two by night, and that faces the window. So this class also includes radiant heated walls, which is very necessary in Canada, and heated floors in the cabin, as well as concierge to take care of you. The Prestige Lounge also offers complimentary bar service, snacks, specialty coffees, and varied activities, such as wine tastings, interactive talks on local history, geography, culture. Food is so important when we travel, and Canada and the Canadians really love to outsource local produce. And that's one of my fondest memories of Canada, is everything was always so fresh there because they ate what was in season. And via rail, the dining experience is no different. So there's a lot of different things on the menu that you can choose from that are all seasonal, and they're all locally sourced. And I love that about them. So let's have a look here as to why take the train. I don't think I need to explain too much more. Now, I do come from a motor coach history. I was once a tour guide, so I do love that form of transport as well, of course, and because you do have that group experience. However, if it is the scenery that you're looking for and spacious legroom and room to roam, I would absolutely choose photo on the right over the one on the left, especially with some of those long journeys and on windy roads as well through Canada. So definitely another reason there to travel by train. So the question is what destinations are you currently interested in? Because I think that now there's a lot of time for us to really plan and daydream and just think about what we're going to do once these lockdown has lifted. I think there could be a lot of us that will be visiting friends and relatives overseas because life got in the way. So there's a lot of different destinations that we can also help you piece together at Railbookers. Now, you may not be ready to book now, we get that, but we will be here on the other end and waiting and helping you piece together your fabulous itinerary. So why do travellers love Railbookers? Let's have a look at this again. The bucket list experiences. We've got that flexible booking policy, freedom and flexibility, the scenic way to travel, room to roam, and all itineraries are fully customisable. So just a little bit more to add to who we are. And you don't need to just listen to me in this presentation. You don't need to just look on our website, but hear of all of our endorsements: Lonely Planet, Forbes, Latte, Travel and Leisure, Afar. We work and are awarded for so much of the achievements that we do in piecing together all of that complex rail itineraries. On the left top, you'll see Rail Operator of the Year. I opened the office here for Railbookers in August 2018. And by November 2019, yes, just a couple of months ago, we received the prestigious award of Rail Operator of the Year at the Travel Awards. And that's an industry award, and that's a major achievement with us being just in the market for 1 year. Now, we do have all those other offices that have been open a lot longer, but still that is quite an accomplishment here for us in Australia. So thank you for your faith in us, and we very much look forward to piecing together your trips. So visit us at railbookers.com.au, call us on 1300 938 534. Even if you're not ready to get a quote now, you can call the consultant, let them know where you're looking at going to, and we can send all 3 of our brochures to you for free: Amtrak Vacations, Railbookers, and also our Via Rail Vacations. I've just skipped through that booking policy again, so I do apologise for that, but we do have fully flexible booking policies, and our team can take you through that as well. But that's also in theme of what's happening right now with COVID-19. We need to be flexible because we know we can't necessarily get on those planes just yet, but we can move your dates. We can actually move your whole destination. If you were to have booked a trip, let's say to Europe, and COVID happened, and you decide to change it to Canada, we can do that. You're not locked into any destination with us. It's all under the Railbookers brand. So when you're ready, we're ready. Now, this is our global team all working from home, myself as well. I'm actually in there with my 3-year-old daughter, both wearing Wonder Woman outfits. So I know that we've all had to adapt to this new way for now, and we've got the technology. We're still here, and we just want you to see that where we are. This is us. Actually, that's Carol on the top left-hand corner. She's one of our fabulous senior sales consultants here in Sydney. There's a good chance you may get her as well. But there's a few Aussies amongst that mix there, and then that's also our global teams. I didn't realise how many cats our Railbookers family had until some of these photos came out. So go through and download your free handouts. And if you do get stuck on that, don't worry. Just shoot us an email or call 1300 938 534, and we'll be able to get those handouts to you. Some people do get a little bit stuck on those. And honestly, I'm having a few problems with my cursor right now anyway, so I completely understand if you're going through the same. So I'd just like to see if there's any questions of something that maybe I haven't covered. Yes, here's one. Yes. Okay, thank you. So the question is, do I need to pay upfront? Absolutely not. With us, it is a $250 deposit. Your itinerary could be a $30,000 itinerary. Okay, I would like that, but some of you may have that. Others, it may be a $1,500 itinerary. Regardless of the amount on that itinerary, it is a $250 deposit per person. And what that does is that locks it in at that rate. And that's because we do work in dynamic pricing. Think airlines. Think of when things are selling out, prices just naturally go up. So that's why we like to piece it far in advance, get that deposit in, and we can keep shifting things. It also depends on the accommodation that you choose, ranging from 3-star to 5-star. Okay, another question is, do we sell air as well? Look, unfortunately, no, we don't. And actually, I'm quite happy about that. And here's the reason why. I'm very loyal to a particular airline, and I'm always looking around for deals. I hate paying full price for anything, so any kind of deals that I can find, that is what motivates me to purchase. I'm also loyal to airlines, and I like my membership. So we like to leave that air to you or your travel agent, and then you can choose that airline of your choice. And the main reason also is because of Europe. There's so many different flight paths that we can take to get to Europe. So whether you want to go through Asia or Dubai. So we like to leave that in your hands, but we can actually piece together pretty much everything else there as well. Is travel insurance required? Yeah, look, I know a lot of you are experienced travelers, and I guess you're asking about Canada here. And yes, look, they've got a fantastic health system, but always get travel insurance, and it's up to you or your travel agent which provider you go with. So yeah, I would always recommend it. Okay, well, that looks like that's some of the questions there, but look, we're always here on hand to answer any questions. So even if you want to place a personal call through to 1300 938 534, and if you do have any specific questions or any more questions that pop into your mind after this, we're more than happy to help you, and let's all dream together, shall we? This will lift, and we will all be on those planes out of here, and we will be experiencing the world again, because life is too short. I would like to thank you so much for joining me. I absolutely love talking about Canada and Via Rail vacations, and I do apologise again about a couple of problems there with my cursor moving and a bit of coughing, but please do forgive me for that. But thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and it's been an amazing turnout today. So stay safe, everyone, and let's all do our bit. And I look forward to seeing you on board Via Rail very soon.